So this letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, written around 57, 58 AD, St. Paul founded the church in Corinth around 51 AD. Now at that time, before he made the stop to Corinth, he was in Athens. It's recorded in Acts, I want to say chapter 17, chapter 18, somewhere in that area. St. Paul visits Athens. You remember Athens is what? Is like I don't know, maybe the birthplace, but Athens is known for its philosophy and its contributions to the field of philosophy. That's where Athens was. Athens was the place where philosophers were discussing and debating all sorts of things. And so St. Paul arrives in Athens and he engages in the philosophy, speaking about wisdom and God's divine wisdom. The people are intrigued. And then towards the end of his speech, St. Paul mentions the resurrection of the dead. And at that, when the people hear that, they kind of gave a little sarcastic laugh and they walked away. Now, St. Paul, when he left Athens, probably feeling disappointed, on his way to Corinth, which was, again, the city very close by to Athens, not too far, probably would have been his next stop. I just wonder if he was thinking, geez, maybe I need to change something about this. There's something missing. There's something missing. It's more than just the resurrection of the dead. And so as we look at the first reading, I believe he discovered what it was, that when he went to Corinth, he changed his tone. He no longer focused solely on the resurrection of the dead. What did he focus in on? The first reading gave us clues. He focused on the power and the message of the cross. That as St. Paul went and founded that church in Corinth in 51 AD, and as he reminds them about 6 or 7 years later, that the power of God resides in the cross. I'm going to talk more about this on the weekend. Okay, what true power is, the power of the cross. For St. Paul, the cross that he proudly and boldly preaches, again, a message that Jews are going to find scandalous. They don't understand it. They don't understand how the Messiah had to suffer and die in a humiliating way. They don't get it. And the Greeks, again, it seems foolish that this is the hero that they're proclaiming, but for those being saved, those who look deeper than just the physical act, who look deeper and see within the act, they see what? They see a priest offering his very body. There's the power. There's the power. A priest offering his very self. When you see that, now it starts to click. And for us, we have crosses and crucifixes in our churches, which I think should be the place. Not necessarily the resurrected Jesus. Why? Because this is where we're at right now. You know, in Athens, the resurrection of the dead, it didn't click because it's something in the future. We're not there yet. We're living the crosses right now. We struggle with sin. We go to the cross and we look at the cross. We meditate on the cross in the sin. And we see the priests making the offering for our sins. We're suffering with some physical, emotional ailment. We go to the cross and we see a God who truly identifies and knows the pain we're going through, both the physical pain and the emotional pain of rejection and humiliation. He knows it. Why? Because he experienced it in the flesh himself. We have a hard time forgiving people. We go to the cross. We meditate on the words of Jesus that he says to the people who crucify him, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. The cross is where we're at in life right now. And death is where we're heading to right now. Once we get through that door of death, then the resurrection of the dead. The resurrection of the dead is what gets us to the cross. We have to go to the cross. We have to go to the grave first before we can rise from it. But we can identify with it. The people of Corinth could identify with it. And many other people who are saved by the cross identifies and knows it very well. And so St. Paul, in his, again, opening letter to the Corinthians, proudly and proclaims it. Even if some people don't understand it, he knows that many others will. Hopefully we do too. May God bless you.